The French government has announced a temporary freeze on the proposed diesel tax, but it brings little reprieve for hundreds of thousands of people living here. Government statistics say about half the population lives on less than $1,300 a month. 10% survive on just $700. EXPEDITA VIRANIN has lived in this government flat for 11 years. The pensioner receives $570 from the government every month. She gives it all back to pay for government-subsidized housing. She says she's only able to survive by sharing living expenses with her sons, who are also on government benefits.
When you get so little money and you have to spend so much of it on rent and there is nothing left, after we pay for the water, the electricity and other expenses, there is nothing.
She complains her home is cramped. This is a typical poor neighborhood in Reunion. The government has built high-density housing, which people here say is expensive and in bad condition. This building, where 450 people once lived, was shut down 2 years ago, but only after the government was taken to court and forced to act. The National Confederation for Housing says the building is near collapse. Almost 20% of islanders live in deplorable conditions, it says, and is urging the government to provide decent housing for the poor.
Subsidised government housing in Reunion is supposed to help people that don't have much money, the poor. But the housing is expensive. The second problem is the conditions of life in those kind of houses. They're damp because of water leakage and they make people sick.
The Yellow Vest protests here have been fueled by the high cost of living on the island, where most necessities are imported, often driving up the price of products by as much as 300%. While Reunion's pristine beaches and tourist-friendly streets look idyllic, observers say the disparity between the rich and poor is growing. SWAMI ADVAYANANDA is part of a multi-faith group that works to unite society. He fears the protests are a warning from people fed up with high taxes and unaffordable everyday expenses.
This is coming from the deep root of French society, we can say. So the government should be very, very careful. You know, in French Revolution, there were many. But now it is coming from everywhere. All villages, all small cities, in the provinces, even overseas.
Some here think government leaders in Paris freezing the fuel tax is simply a bandage on a festering wound. Fahmida, Jazeera, Reunion Island.